In this video, I'm going to be ranking all 6 episodes from South Park Season 26 from worst to best, and at the very end, I'm going to give the season as a whole its own separate rating. So I just went back and rewatched Season 26 for the second time, and honestly, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did my first time through. But I think that's just because I'm always excited for new South Park episodes, so I see the episodes through rose-tinted glasses the first time I watch them. But despite that, I still really enjoyed some of the episodes in this season. So let's go ahead and jump right into my rating. At number 6, the worst episode of the season, Cupid Ye. This was the first episode of the season, and in it we see the return of Cupid Me, or as he's referred to in this episode, Cupid Ye. It wasn't a bad episode by any means. It had a ton of funny moments as we follow Cupid Ye, who's off his meds, go on his journey of breaking up Kyle and Token's ridiculously cringe TikTok duo, while also trying to spread the word of Jesus, which is really just a bunch of anti-Semitic hate speech, obviously referring to the recent controversy that American singer Barbra Streisand has been stirring up. Wait, it's not making fun of Barbra Streisand? Okay, I'm just learning that they were actually making fun of Kanye West. That's new. So this episode caused a lot of confusion about what Cupid Me really is, because in this scene here, we see Cupid Ye trying to incept Token in his sleep, but when Token's dad walks in, we can clearly see that it was actually Cartman who was messing with Token, yet later in the episode, Cupid Ye appears to be his own person as he steals a car and sends the whole school into a frenzy, as he tries to spread his message of Christianity. While I did enjoy this episode, the confusion around Cupid Me as a character was enough for me to drop this episode to last place in my rankings. Now on to the next episode. Ranked at 5th for the season, we have episode 2, the Worldwide Privacy Tour. No, not all of these will be in order. The first 2 episodes were just my least favorite of the season. This episode was pretty good, but I really have to agree with Stan here.
We just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid wife.
Now this episode did have a great message about an issue going on in today's world where so many people are trying to spend time working on their brand and worrying about what others think of them instead of just enjoying life and appreciating who they are. Which gives us a pretty wholesome moment at the end of the episode when all the kids go over to Kyle's because they believe he needs to get out of the house. A part of me feels like this episode would be better if it focused on Stan worrying about his image instead of Kyle, just because of Stan's past with depression, but overall it was still a really solid episode, with lots of funny moments with the prince and his blue penis. But that blue penis wasn't enough to get this episode moved up to the 4th place on this list, and at 4th place we have the 6th and final episode of the season, Spring Break. Yes, this is the infamous Andrew Tate episode everyone is talking about, and I thought it was a really good way to end the season because it left a ton of questions for us fans about what season 27 of South Park will look like for certain characters, especially for Garrison and his relationship with his boyfriend Rick. I actually made 2 separate videos on this episode alone, so if you want to check out either of those after watching this video, I'll have those linked in the description below. At number 3, we have episode 4 of the season, Deep Learning. This episode was about AI, specifically ChatGTP. This episode covered a lot of the fears people have about advanced AI and about how people are and will be using it in the future. It was a hilarious episode that showed Stan using ChatGTP to text his girlfriend Wendy without even reading their messages, which leads to a hilarious scene where Wendy talks to Stan about the conversation they had over text, and Stan has no idea what she's talking about. At the end of this episode, they actually used ChatGTP to write the conclusion of the episode, which wraps up the episode in the most tasteless manner, which actually does a great job of showing how people shouldn't fear AI taking over the TV industry, because it lacks the detail and care that real people put into their TV shows. But unfortunately for this episode, the last minute being written by ChatGTP and making absolutely no sense lost this episode its spot at number 2, and gave it to episode 5, Dick and Balls Hot Dogs. I absolutely loved this episode, and I really feel like it captured that classic South Park feel by having Cartman use and manipulate Butters the entire episode, and it did this while still staying relevant to issues we're seeing today in the real world. This was such a fun one because not only did we get a classic Cartman using Butters for his own good episode, but at the end of it we see Butters finally get his revenge on Cartman, who was on top of the world until Butters pulled everything out from under him, which made for such a satisfying ending. And finally, the number 1 episode of South Park Season 26. You guessed it, Episode 3, Japanese Toilet takes the number 1 spot for Season 26. Honestly, I'm a sucker for Randy episodes, and Japanese Toilet did an outstanding job of capturing all of Randy's egotistical and self-centered qualities while being absolutely hilarious at the same time. I also love when Jimmy is in on something that we as the audience don't know about, like in this episode, how he knows how much trouble Stan will be in if Randy keeps gloating about his fancy $10,000 toilet, because he knows the toilet paper company will come after them, which of course they eventually do. Rating time! I really enjoyed this season. Every single episode made me laugh and was super enjoyable to watch, and I truly think this is South Park's best season in multiple years. And for that reason, I'm giving it a rating of 7.6 out of 10. A few confusing or random moments in certain episodes brought this rating down a little bit, but nonetheless, it was an amazing season, and I can't wait for the next one. I also wanted to bring up that only 0.2% of you watching this right now are subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. This could be your last chance to claim your spot as one of my original subscribers, because at the time of recording this, I currently only have 41 subscribers. And if you did enjoy the content in this video, check out one of the 2 videos on screen now where I go over the final episode of this season and all of the questions it left for us for season 27.